I will ask her to tell us a little bit about herself. And maybe she's also going to tell us a little bit about her publications. And if you want to read something from your publication, you're welcome to do so. So, there you go.
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honour. My name is Penny. I'm from Cape Town in South Africa. I was born in South Africa. I lived for many years of my life outside South Africa. I went to live in Italy when I was about 17. And I only came back in 1996 to South Africa. So that's a long time ago, but it feels like quite recent. I always wanted to be a writer, even when I was a tiny child. I wrote my first book, I think, when I was about 7, in pencil, longhand, in a notebook. It was the story of my life. I don't know what's happened to the book, but that was when I wanted to. As I became a teenager, I kept on wanting to write. I began to write my first pieces of poetry. I published a couple of things, and then life became very complicated, as it very often does for many people. And I put it aside until I was quite far on in my life. And then suddenly this urge to write came back to me, and I knew I had to write. I had to get myself down on paper. And my book, The Story of Anna P, as told by yourself, is the outcome of that. It's my first book at my age. I'm 64 now, so it's quite an advanced age to be writing a first book. The book is, there are bits of it that are autobiographical, but if you read it, don't take it as purely autobiographical. A book is never that. I think all writing is, to some extent, autobiographical, but don't take it literally. It's a story about a woman a South African woman, living in Italy. She's living on an island off the coast of Italy. And it's a story in 3 parts. It starts off with the woman where she is in her life at that time. It's in the present of her life, in the present, and she's telling her own story. And then it goes, the second part of it is the past of her past, her memories. And the third is her future. So it's present, past, and future. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a small section of each of these. They're very different, the 3 sections. So I'm going to read you just a very short piece from Anna as she is at the moment, Anna as she was in the past, and Anna as she may become in the future. I'm not sure anymore how I ended up here on the island. I think I came to see the ruins and forgot to go back. The local school needed an English teacher, and I was asked to stand in until the ministry in Rome appointed someone. But that was 20 years ago. I have lived all these years in uncertainty, knowing only that any day the real teacher may arrive. In the meantime, a cheque has been deposited into my account each month. It is not much, but then I haven't had many needs, except for paper and ink, to carry on this endless dialogue with myself. The island is called L'Inglese, the English woman, although I have not spent more than a few years in England in my whole life. They are kind enough to me, but I'm aware that they speak more slowly to me than they do amongst themselves, as if I were a slightly retarded child. I know it is out of kindness that they do it, yet I have wished at times that they wouldn't, and that I could just be one of them. I suspect that they are puzzled by me, that implicit in the name L'Inglese is a sense also of la pazza, the mad woman, although they would never call me that to my face. I think I do not make much sense to them, simple as they are, but then perhaps I do not make much sense to myself either. I'm always here like them. I get up every day at the same time, breathe the same air, eat the same food, yet I have no common purpose with them. I have not tried to explain where I come from, and I think they would not understand if I did. To them, Africa is what you can see across the straits on a clear day. It It doesn't connect with an eccentric Englishwoman as they believe her to be. To their knowledge, I have no past, or family either. I have sometimes wondered what the islanders would do if I died, as at some point I suppose I must. Okay, so that's the introduction to her on the island. The second part of the book is called the Book of Memory, and here Anna goes back into her past, and she's remembering her childhood in South Africa, where she has a very difficult relationship with her father. Really, I'm just going to give you one little fragment of this. I can't possibly go into it all. Her father has a very serious drinking problem, and a few days later, when she comes home from school, she sees him swaying in the doorway at the top of the stairs and that lead down into the garden, his heavy body outlined against the afternoon sun. It is a question of an instant. She doesn't even think. He doesn't hear her coming up behind him. She reaches up. Her hand touches the worn fabric of his white hospital jacket, feels the warmth of his body beneath. A quick push is all it takes. There is no resistance. He tumbles down head first, slowly, as she stands there where he had stood only a second before, her hand on the door frame, watching. His body is soft, offering no resistance like a lifeless object. And when he reaches the bottom, he lies there, motionless. She goes to her bedroom and lies down on her bed in her school uniform. She falls asleep. When she wakes up, her mother is home. She can hear her moving around the kitchen. Her mother tells her there's been an accident. Her dad has been hurt. Okay, then I'm going to now read a section from the Book of the Future. And there's an epigraph to this Book of the Future, which is as follows. It's a piece of poetry, a piece of a poem by Rilke. You must give birth to your images. They are the future waiting for you, waiting to be born. Fear not the strangeness you feel. The future must enter into you long before it happens. Just wait for the birth, for the hour of new clarity. And here, Anna, the character, has now left the island and she's on the move. She's with a small child, one of the pupils from her school. And they've been running from the police. She's killed somebody and they've been running from the police for quite a long time. You were taken in by Antonio and his sister Elisabetta in their old house in the abandoned village on the hill above the city. They took you in without any questions. You went in and sat by the fire. The woman brought you a bowl of warm, scented water and a soft towel, and indicated that you should wash. She placed it on the ledge beside you. You plunged your hands in, splashed your face, feeling the dust and grime wash away. In the meantime, she prepared a bath for you in the next room, which was filled with steam. You let yourself slip under the water, brushing the tank